Hi, welcome to Respawn Lounge, and this week we'll be talking about classic shooters.
Okay, we are finally back after a two-week hiatus. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we missed 1 week, so it will have been 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. We were on our university spring break, and I don't know, maybe I should have told people that we weren't working on uploading, but I didn't. I'm sorry. So yeah, we're back. We're slightly behind schedule now.
Yeah, just 1 week behind schedule.
Yeah, because we didn't really like plan spring break into this, but I mean, we can just go a week longer, or we can put another episode into next season or something like that.
Yeah.
So everything will be fine. You're not really missing anything because you didn't know what you were getting anyway. But anyway, we're back, and to this episode will go up today, as you know, because you're listening to it, and we're gonna be we're gonna be back to uploading writing starting next week on Tuesday, and then we'll be back to a normal schedule from that point on. So anyway, this week's topic was Dan's idea, and we're going to talk about classic shooters. I'm choking on a peanut. and how we define classic shooters is really kind of
Mostly
hard.
like the pre-2000 era.
Yeah, like our cutoff is like basically when Half-Life started to like redefine them into like more narrative driven, and you start to get into like the school of like Halo and stuff like that. But we're kind of sticking to the male power fantasy of like Doom and System Shock, I guess. Duke Nukem.
Yeah, Duke Nukem very much so is that.
Yeah. And I guess we want to start at the beginning of the timeline. Of the games that I looked up, Duke Nukem was the first release in 1991.
Yeah.
With, Duke Nukem 3D, I think.
Well, actually, Wolfenstein 3D came out in 1992. Duke Nukem 3D was 1996.
Okay, Duke Nukem 3D wasn't the first one then.
Yeah. Because Wolfenstein predates Duke Nukem by a few years. Because Duke Nukem doesn't come out until after Doom, I believe.
Well, wasn't it? Yeah, Doom was kind of the first big one, so everything was a Doom clone for the longest time.
Doom was 93, but
yeah.
Doom kind of solidified what we think of when we think of shooters in like the like kind of mid-era PC age.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people call them Doom clones. That's why we have the Doom guy. That's why even the most recently released Doom, which was 2016, I think, is like kind of just a modern interpretation of that. It's still very Doom.
Yeah.
As
Doom
opposed
guy,
to Doom 3.
Who runs at 50 miles per hour and can carry an infinite number of guns.
Yeah. Which is very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, everyone's got their thoughts on, like, modern shooters, like the Call of Duties and the Halos and stuff like that. But I've always enjoyed the shooters where, like, realism takes a huge backseat to just enjoying yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, Halo, how you can carry two guns, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool, because then you have to, you know, pair them up for situations, or, like, how versatile you're going to be able to be, or if you want to just have a shotgun and a sniper rifle or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also really like just, fuck it, 60 guns.
Yeah.
I also don't care about bullet arcing or any of that bullshit. If I point my fake gun at a monster, I don't want to have to worry about if my trajectory is correct or anything. I just want it to be gone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think there's a place for those, like, more realistic shooters. I think those are still cool.
Yeah. That's just not what Doom is.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that Doom has, like, kind of the audacity to exist side by side with those things by saying, like, no, screw it, these games were always fun and they're going to continue to be fun.
Mm.
Like, mindless self-indulgence is still, like, a really fun way to play shooters. Which is interesting, because then you think back about, like, the N64 classic shooters like GoldenEye and stuff.
Yeah.
And GoldenEye, despite being a game where you play as Secret Agent James Bond, plays closer to Doom than it plays to, like, the more modern, like, spy-type games.
Yeah, because those games hadn't really, like, begun to exist yet.
Yeah.
GoldenEye is just a first-person shooter with a 007 skin on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and GoldenEye also has nothing to do with the GoldenEye movie.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because you can imagine how disappointed I was when I actually watched GoldenEye, and it was just like, oh,
I like GoldenEye.
It's good.
He drives a tank through a wall.
I mean, yes, Dan, it's good, but I also really liked the game.
Yeah.
And I thought it was, for the longest time, just the movie.
Well, yeah, they had anything to do with each other.
Yeah. And
My favorite part of GoldenEye the game was when you had the all weapons cheat and you could fire tank missiles without being in a tank.
Yeah.
Bond just opens his mouth and a missile flies out.
I really liked the big heads cheat because it made it easier for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I classically have a bad time with everything.
I'm gonna
precision.
I'm gonna give like kind of a shout out to someone who doesn't know who I am. But if you've seen the boundary break videos, the one for GoldenEye shows that like there isn't a Bond model. You're just a gun hovering like 3 feet off the ground.
That's the best.
And a hand.
Well, that's kind of what it is in Unreal, right? Or for the game that you made, Dan, where you were falling down the tunnel and you were just a cylinder with a gun.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's great, because you never see yourself, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I love classic shooters gun perspectives, where it's not like, you're holding a gun in your arms, and like maybe your arms are at like the wrong angle or something. It's like there's just a shotgun coming straight out of your mouth.
Well,
or a chainsaw if you're playing Doom.
Yeah.
that's how things were in the 80s, Dan.
It was a harder time. Everyone had the shotgun installations.
Yeah. Young John Carmack just with a BFG for a head.
Is BFG, that stands for Big Fucking Gun, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or if you watch the terrible,
Big Friendly
terrible movie.
Giant?
No. Yeah, it stands for Big Friendly Giant. No, if you watch the, or it stands for Bioforce Gun,
Okay.
Bountiful fruit.
which is
What is
way
this?
less fun.
What is that from?
What do you mean?
BFG, like where did that first come from?
Doom?
Doom? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the biggest gun.
Okay.
Is that an actual gun?
Yeah.
Is there a gun called the BFG?
Yeah. It's
What is
the BFG 9000.
Which one is that in?
1 and 2.
Okay. I never played 1 or 2. I only played 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Isn't the BFG in 3 also?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay.
By played 3, I mean I turned 3 on once.
The BFG is also in 3. It's in every single one.
Okay. Yeah, the most thorough knowledge I have of Doom is actually of the Doom novel.
Oh, which are great.
Yeah, they're hilarious. I like the OTP of Doom Guy and Doom Girl.
Uh-huh.
And it also gets like weirdly religious in the second book.
Weird. Does Doom Guy have his cat? Because that's his only defining character.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that and the faces that he makes in the little bottom of the screen. Where
Looking around or
he's
angry.
looking around or angry or very rare, surprised.
Yeah. It's a good phase.
That's all of my Doom knowledge, so I'm just going to be here in the corner for the rest of the
Oh,
podcast.
I've got one more. I've got the who's the Ion Storm guy? He made
John Romero?
Yeah, Daikatana Man. How he's the final boss of Doom.
Oh, yeah.
It's his head on a stick.
Yeah. Or that's Doom 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He
I
is
like
the he's like the secret thing you can kill to kill the icon of sin.
Yeah, I like that because all of my John Romero knowledge originally came from a webcomic called Mega Tokyo.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably enough Doom, unless you want to talk about the new one, which...
I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah, it really captures the spirit of old Doom with prettier graphics and more blood on screen.
Yeah.
So then I guess the next one is Wolfenstein, probably be the most topical.
Yeah.
Because there's also been a new Wolfenstein recently, the New Order, I think it was called.
Yeah, Wolfenstein: The New Order came out, I think like 3 years back or something like that.
The Old Hunters.
Also, Nazis, right? That's the Nazi one?
Yes, that is the Nazi one.
Yeah. That's the one where you fight Cyborg Hitler at the end.
Yes, you only fight Cyborg Hitler at the end of like the original Wolfenstein games. Cyborg Hitler has been sadly dropped from all the other Wolfensteins.
Aww.
You fight a guy named Death's Head in a lot of them, or do you just fight some like weird, crazy German guy with a scar who's doing occult stuff? There's always like a lot of like depending on which one you play, it's either there's like super high technology or there's like weird magic going on. Original Wolfenstein's mostly just like high technology. Some of the 2000 ones had magic in them, and then this most recent one has no magic, just like the Illuminati is actually a like secret Jewish society dedicated to protecting the world, but was like all of their secrets were taken by the Germans, who like then used it in World War II to create like giant death machines. I'm sorry, spoilers for Wolfenstein. The amazing plot of Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's actually super cool.
And is it okay? Because we've got Doom's most recent incarnation is considered very good.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein is considered pretty good.
Yeah, Wolfenstein was like pretty highly lauded when it came out.
And
People
Duke
loved it.
Nukem.
It was not. See,
Yeah.
id is actually still a good game developer, though. Wolfenstein: The New Order was not made by id. It was made by Machine Games, I think. I don't remember what else they've done, but yeah, at least those two properties are doing well. Wolfenstein's going to be getting a new game called The New Colossus in sometime soon.
The sequel to The Last Guardian. I'm sure no one's made that joke before. Anyway.
Personally, I love literally every single Wolfenstein game. That's not a widely held opinion.
Really?
Some of the 2000 ones were liked significantly less. The one from the 2000s that's just called Wolfenstein was not liked very much. I really liked it. I thought it was super fun. You can stop time and then run around with like a bayonet and just like stab people and stop time.
Cool.
And that's pretty fun.
Just like Blinks.
Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What was there ever like just a crappy console only shooter in any of these franchises? I mean, Duke Nukem was mostly that, wasn't it? Or were those also on PC?
Those were also on PC.
Because the only ones I played are I played the newest one and the PS1 games.
There is a console only Doom, but it's actually great. Doom 64 is what it's called.
Oh yeah, because it's just a
64.
map pack for Doom 2 or whatever.
It's actually pretty different. If you are a PC user who's interested, there's some like pretty dedicated remakes of 64 for PC that include like a lot of other really nice features, and you don't have to like. I think the Brutal Doom guy's also doing Doom 64 right now, but I don't think he's like released any stable versions of it yet. So I would just recommend going for, like, there are releases of Doom 64 for PC just called Doom 64, and I highly recommend them. They're super fun. Doom 64 was like actually a fantastic game.
Really, it's really hard to believe that there's like a good shooter on the 64.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the 64's controls aren't great.
Yeah.
But playing it with mouse and keyboard is awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
Because the level design's good, and like all of the new things that they implemented were really good.
What about? I'm sorry, I'm not actually bored.
He's just tired.
Yeah, tired of. Never mind. So we've still got. How about Quake? Quake's really important for being like.
I love Quake.
Yeah, it's kind of the arena shooter to like start them all. Because it was that in Unreal Tournament, or was it just called Unreal? The first one.
Well, the first one's just called Unreal, and then because Unreal originally has like a pretty detailed story about you like crash landing on this planet, and there's like this like war going on between these two different factions and all this stuff, and then eventually became just Unreal Tournament, where they just like had all of these races just like fighting in an arena brawler, and all those games are super fun.
Yeah, we talked about in the browser games episode how Unreal inspired Unreal Championship 2003 or whatever, the Flash game.
Yeah.
That was like surprisingly faithful and good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Unreal Tournament is really cool. There's not a whole lot to say about Unreal, I don't think. Not that you'd like, or nothing that you wouldn't really cover talking about Quake for the most part, as long as you're talking about like arena shooters. Unreal 1 by itself has like a lot of other cool stuff to talk about, but I don't remember that game super well. I am a huge fan of the Quake games.
There was also a new Quake kind of recently, wasn't there?
There's a new Quake coming soon. There was a new Quake fairly recently, which was just like, it was just Quake 3, called Quake Live. And you could actually play it in your browser.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Quake,
and it's
Quake
still
1 is the
going
only
on now.
one I've ever owned because I stole it from a yard sale when I was 12.
Nice. I love Quake 1. Quake 1's super good. It's thematically very inconsistent, but otherwise really, really cool.
Cool. So we've got a couple of other games up here too. Hexen, I don't know anything about.
Yeah, so Wolfenstein's about shooting Nazis, and Doom is about shooting demons, and Hexen is also sort of about shooting demons and other fantasy monsters.
Like Nazis.
Yeah, no, Hexen, Hexen's actually really interesting because there's multiple character classes you can pick from. So there's like a warrior and like a wizard and stuff like that you can play.
Do you still use guns?
No.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
Oh, that's
You're
lame.
welcome. So like the wizard has like they all have like pools of magic and they can use like different weapons with that. And they all start out with like different weapons. Like the wizard starts out with some wand that shoots out like little magic bolts. And the warrior starts with like a hammer or something. I can't exactly remember.
Does it shoot anything? Is this a shooter, Dan?
No, this is like actually like a first person slasher depending on what class you're playing and which weapons you're using. A lot of them get like everybody gets a ranged option and like multiple ranged options. And everyone has like I think something that's like melee or close to melee. I'm sad Hexen isn't remembered as much as Doom and Wolfenstein because Hexen's like really interesting just for the diversity in play you can get from like all the different classes because like the levels remain the same but it's designed around like these 4 different classes that you can play and going through them like solving all these different challenges in different ways with all these different abilities that you have.
Mm-hmm. So how so is like getting through different obstacles or like different ways of dealing with enemies?
Mostly different ways of dealing with enemies. They're not heavy on like the puzzles. These games, most of the puzzles in like Doom and Wolfenstein and Hexen are like finding the thing and then pressing the other thing and then finding what thing opened. It's more like secrets than any sort of puzzle. But
kind of the Duke Nukem school of puzzles.
Yeah, because Duke Nukem is just copying off of Doom. No, I mean like Duke Nukem has its own like original ideas.
Where was the level in Doom where you can open up the wall to find the strip club?
Oh yeah.
Excuse you.
Duke Nukem's really cool. It was technologically very, very impressive for the time.
No shit, it's not a feminist game, but like looking at it now, like from a 2017 perspective, a lot of the themes are very like,
yeah.
Which is of course like if you're playing Duke Nukem, you should know what you're getting into, but it's very reminiscent of the like 80s style action movies. Like it really is like living out that male power fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, Duke Nukem is constantly quoting like other action movies. Like like the "I'm all out of bubblegum" line is like directly lifted from They Live.
Mm-hmm. And even the cover of Duke Nukem 3D reminds me of like Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I think the cover of Duke Nukem 3D reminds me a lot of the cover of Doom.
Well, yeah.
it's guy holding 2 guns on a pile of other things, shooting down at people. But yes, it's really similar to that because like those are like the action movie poster, sort of thing.
And it looks like like the mushroom cloud behind him. But yeah, like even themes like they're aliens, but like the cops are pigs, like literally pigs.
They're called pig cops.
Yeah, it's just like all right.
Yeah, Duke Nukem's not a smart game.
No.
But it's pretty fun. It even has working mirrors, which are...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They made the mirrors by making a completely separate room that was like just a copy, and there was another you moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they even like used that kind of tech in like Metal Gear Solid a few years later.
Yeah. They would even use that same idea in like Half-Life, like a few years later, for some of like the reflective surfaces.
Yeah, but does Duke Nukem have real-time ice cubes?
No, Duke Nukem does not have real-time ice cubes.
Damn. Yeah, Duke Nukem 3D, or I guess like the 3D in general Duke Nukem games, They're almost as much puzzle games as they are shooters because they play really well. Okay, I can't remember which one it is, but I played one where it controlled like almost Resident Evil-esque.
What, you mean like...
It's a third
controls?
person. Yeah, like kind of tank controls in third person.
I'm
you have
actually
like a
not sure which one
sidestep
you're talking
button.
about.
It was on PS1, so I don't... It's probably also on PC in some way, but I don't know which one it is.
Okay. That is not Duke Nukem 3D.
No.
I'm not sure which one that is.
Hold on.
Maybe Time to Kill?
I think it was Time to Kill.
Because I never played that one.
Yeah, I think it was. Is there a game called Land of the Babes?
I never played that one either. I didn't play any of the PlayStation ones.
There's a Duke Nukem game on DS.
Yes.
Oh man, this is a learning experience for me. So what else is there to talk about with classic shooters though? Like, it's kind of just saying like, yeah, they're cool and gory and really masculine. How about System Shock? Because that's where it kind of shakes things up.
System Shock is really, really interesting. So obviously the most famous figure from System Shock is Shodan, the evil AI. And Shodan's like the main antagonist of System Shock 1, but the most remembered System Shock is System Shock 2. And you actually don't even know that it's Shodan who's like doing any of this stuff until like halfway through the game. It's really interesting.
Tell your spoilers.
No.
So what else do we have? Half-Life. Half-Life's kind of the breaking point where shooters transition into like what we think they are contemporarily.
Yeah, Half-Life is a much more linear. It's not a corridor shooter. Like there's not just like a straight line that you walk down and then like enemy appears and you shoot it. Half-Life's still like a very smart game, and there's like a few opener areas that have puzzles and stuff in them. It also has puzzles, like actual puzzles.
Oh.
But it's a much more narrative-focused first-person shooter than any of the others.
And it has a pretty significant amount of voice acting too.
Yeah, like even random NPCs as you walk past will be voiced. I mean, obviously our protagonist, Gordon Freeman, is not voiced, as the internet will alert you to constantly. But it's a really interesting game. Yeah, it's a very big departure from most of the other like first-person shooter genre conventions that we'd seen up to that point. And a lot of games would try to emulate Half-Life going into the future. And so like first-person shooters would very fundamentally change, I think, after Half-Life.
And the more I think about it, the more I draw a lot of comparisons from Halo to Half-Life, especially just like the lived-in nature of the world when you're walking past random NPCs.
Yeah, because it's much more meant to be like a place than it is to be like an area for challenges. Those are both very like, despite being like the gameplay is running and shooting and like there's no puzzles at all in Halo. Like, the only gameplay in Halo is run and shoot and maybe drive a car to run and shoot like faster. But there's a lot of narrative. Like there's actual like cutscenes and stuff in Halo.
Yeah.
Which is not a thing that exists in
giving the Covenant back their bomb.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite lines ever.
Yeah, that's the opening to Halo 2, right?
It's the end of the prologue level.
Yeah.
I love Halo 2.
Which is great. Halo is really good. Halo 2 is also awesome.
I think it's heresy that Halos 1 through 3 aren't on Steam, other than the crappy Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, I mean...
and I think it's time for Bungie to answer for their crimes.
That'd be nice. Well, I mean, they don't... they don't own Halo 1 through 3 anymore, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's 343 now, isn't it?
Yeah, 343 is the people... Yeah, because they don't own Halo at all. It's 343 is developing the new Halo games, and Bungie has nothing to do with it, and Microsoft owns 343.
Okay.
I believe.
So Bungie's not responsible for anything that happens to the Halo franchise in general now. Like, they don't even own the IP.
No. After Reach, I think Reach was the last game that they made.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Well, because we had that and we had, like, ODST, and ODST was kind of a narratively interesting game, but it was still just, like, kind of a basic shooter that wasn't terribly interesting.
Yeah, I mean, ODST was cool. There wasn't, like, a super special Halo game. It's definitely the least remembered of any of them, other than maybe Halo Wars.
I was to say I beg to differ.
Yeah,
Then again, there is a Halo Wars too, so.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. I said ODST is the least remembered because I forgot that Halo Wars existed. As I was trying to list through all the Halo games.
Wasn't there? No, there was never a portable Halo game, was there?
No, I do not believe there was ever a
No, because it's
portable
only
game.
been on Microsoft platforms, and they've never had a portable.
Yeah, Halo Forge is on PC now.
Oh, is it? Cool.
Yeah, for the new Halo game. Halo 2 was released for Vista. You just cannot buy it on any like digital distribution platforms. So like you have to find like a box copy somewhere or steal it.
Just steal it.
Pirate it. Get the box copy from Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah.
We don't sell those.
I mean, you can probably find the disc on eBay for nothing.
Yeah,
A
probably.
really good place to look for old games is Goodwill. Especially
Yeah.
old PC games. They just have like racks of them.
Especially if you want 70 copies of Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or 3 copies of The Sims 1. So would you say that the split between... Has there been another split after...
Yes, the modern military split.
The browns and the grays and the press have to pay respects games.
Yeah, because there was no realism whatsoever of the Doom era. Then there's the like sort of narrative focused games of like Halo, and then like leading into like of like Half-Life leading into Halo.
Which even Half-Life, like Gordon Freeman still like just chugs along a rocket launcher and just fires it with.
Yeah, Gordon Freeman holds all guns that exist that he can possibly find.
And fires rockets from a running position.
Yeah, Gordon Freeman's in a power suit, so like he doesn't obey basic laws of physics and can just like sprint while shooting guns at full accuracy. But yeah, there's definitely a split eventually, like later on, to the much more like realistic first-person shooters that we have predominantly now.
I don't think it's as clear where that split is though, because like it's definitely Half-Life for that transition, but then there's like a pretty long period before we start to like clearly get to the press have to pay respects games, because we've got like kind of the PS2 era of like Urban Chaos and Black and like Project Snowblind and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that
it's
like,
much more gradual change.
Yeah, where we're starting to see like cover mechanics and things like that.
Yeah.
Before we get to the like stop and pop shooters that we had from like 2008 to like 2013 or so.
The game that most people cite as like the clear indicator where like the cutoff is like Call of Duty 4. But like it had been happening before then too.
Call of Duty 4 is
just
just the best version of those games for the time.
Yeah, and then after that we didn't really see any like non-modern military first-person shooters for a while.
Mm. Yeah, because even the one I played the most recently was Spec Ops: The Line, and it's kind of just baby COD 4.
Yeah, well, I mean that is a third-person shooter, which is different.
It is, but like still like it is a cover shooter, and it's carry 2 weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, it's also like more narratively focused. Like obviously, it's an Apocalypse Now allegory.
Yeah, and it's much more of like a parody or like a critique of those modern military first-person shooters.
Yeah. And I'm going to cite another person who doesn't know who I am, but Super Bunny Hop does a really interesting video on Spec Ops: The Line.
Mm-hmm. It's a really cool game. Not super fun to play, but like it's a decent third-person shooter. Narratively, it's really interesting though.
Mm-hmm.
I like Portal. That's a first-person shooter, right?
First-person puzzler.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the first-person shooter line gets sort of weird talking about like Portal because you got a thing that shoots in first person. Obviously, it doesn't shoot bullets, but like I mean, you never technically had to shoot bullets. You do technically fight some enemies in Portal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. I don't have anything to add. I would say it's like kind of a deconstruction, but it's not.
No, I mean it's just a puzzling. It's a puzzle game in first person where you like shoot portals. But
well, I was gonna say like the kind of the backwards nature of dealing with enemies is like you virtually never shoot your portal gun at an enemy on purpose.
No, because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like you shoot like under them and then you like shoot at the ceiling so they fall in ad infinitum.
Yeah, or you just like walk up behind them and then
Push
place them lightly on their side. Then just like the turret gun like yells a little bit for a few seconds, and then just like goes limp.
Yeah.
It's not dead, it just gave up.
I really like my puzzle solving in Portal 2 where like obviously I was supposed to do something to like stop the turrets, but I just sprinted up to him and shoved him.
Yeah. Chell from Portal, despite not being like a super soldier, can sure take a lot of bullets, but that's probably because the guns in Portal don't actually work.
Yeah, there's that really interesting little tidbit of information where the turrets are just full of bullets, and they don't actually fire the bullets; they push them out.
Yeah.
So they're not like igniting and firing; they're just throwing bullets at you.
Because
You're
it's more
functionally just being
bullet.
hit with by a pellet gun or something.
Yeah, because it's more bullet per bullet that way.
Yeah.
If they just throw them at you instead of actually igniting them, and what a gun is supposed to do. But yeah, it really plays with a lot of interesting. Well, because that came out. What time?
2005, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
5 or 6, I think.
Portal was actually 2007.
Okay, so that was kind of.
10 years old now.
Happy birthday. that was kind of around the time where a lot of shooters were becoming more military.
Kind of, because Modern Warfare came out in 2008, didn't it?
Yeah. Call of Duty. Hang on, let me check.
Clackety clack, clackety clack.
My keyboard's loud, I'm sorry.
Clack, clack, clackety clack.
Let's see, Modern Warfare was also 2007.
Okay, actually just a month later.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's interesting.
Portal beat the military shooter.
Uh-huh.
Actually, Portal opened the portal to military shooters.
No.
That's the plot of that game.
Ew.
That's what you do at the end of Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was really interesting coming out at that time in particular, especially because a lot of first-person shooters for a really long time were a male power fantasy, and then you find out that Chell is not a dude.
Yeah, you can find that out like pretty immediately if you just like angle your portals right and then like go through it yourself.
But that's not something a lot of people did. But it's also really interesting that it's never something the game addresses.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
distinctly.
even in Portal 2, how Gladys like insults you the whole time. It's never like making fun of periods or anything like that. It's just like, "Ha, you're fat."
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Like you're bad at aiming, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I can't believe you fell again, or stuff like that. Like it's never. It's just really interesting that I love Portal.
Yeah,
Also-
it definitely doesn't take the low hanging fruit or anything like that.
I love that Chell isn't actually like mute or anything. She just doesn't talk because she's so mad at Gladys. Yeah, Portal's a great franchise. Hopefully we get another Portal game eventually, but Valve doesn't really make that many games anymore.
Valve doesn't know how to count to 3.
I was really hoping we'd
Yeah.
go this whole episode without making that joke.
Nope.
It's necessary.
I didn't make a joke about cake, which I actually really hate, but
Yeah.
so it's
Just once.
just pick one of the
Just
other.
once. I wanted to lead the vanguard of discussions about Portal and Half-Life that don't end up with a joke about 3. Just once.
I mean,
There are so many Half-Life games, aren't there? There's
Well,
like
okay.
a bunch of like episodes.
so there's Half-Life, there's Blue Shift,
Opposing Forces.
Opposing Forces 2, Episode 1, and then Episode 2. So that's 6 games.
It's too much. But there's no Half-Life 3.
But there's no Half-Life 3.
But there's 6 games.
But there's 6 games.
Okay.
Yes.
Still,
There's one, and then there's 2 expansions for it, and then
'Cause
there's
there-
2, and there's 2 expansions for it.
Because there's only 2 Portal games, period.
Yes.
but game for game, it's still not as bad as Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, don't
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Kingdom Hearts.
Because
The worst first person
3's going to
shooter.
be, what, the 11th game or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, we still don't have Half-Life 3, and we potentially may never have Half-Life 3.
At this point, they've
Honestly,
got
Kingdom
more.
Hearts is a better source of that joke because they've got fucking 2.8 and like.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think there is going to be a Half-Life 3, just because it can never live up to whatever expectations.
That's stopped literally no company ever.
Or
I mean,
just,
Duke Nukem Forever came out.
or because Gabe Newell was just fucking tired of people talking about it, and so he's just doing it out of spite now. Like, in his head, he has a counter, like, you know, every time somebody asks me about Half-Life 3, I'm going to push it back another year.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's at, like, 1,000 years. Or some, like, horrible shit.
It's done. It just hasn't released yet.
Mm-hmm.
The game's been finished for 5 years.
He's holding it out of spite. He's so mad about everybody asking about it.
Yeah, and he's gonna send one person. He's gonna have him come to his office and play the game, and he's not allowed to take it with him or take screenshots. No one will ever believe him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that Duke Nukem Forever came out, we can only have conspiracy theories about when Half-Life 3 is going to come out. Those have died down a lot in recent years because like.
Because all the people making the jokes have died.
from old age, all these like past 5-7 years.
Yeah. It's time for the new generation.
Or no, actually, it's been longer than that, hasn't it?
Half-Life 2 was 2005, I think.
When was episode 2?
I don't know. Never actually played Half-Life.
Really?
Yeah, I own them all. I think Matt bought them for me.
Play them. They're really good.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah, it's been... Okay, Half-Life episode 2 was 2007, so it's been 10 years. Oh, that's right, yeah, because it came out in the orange box with Portal.
That's plenty of time for people to die.
I'm sure some of those people have died. Probably not all of them. I played Half-Life 2.
It's coming, man.
Oh, God.
Remember how you were late for class this morning?
Mm-hmm.
The virus is taking hold, Dan.
Oh, God.
Okay, anything else to say about classic shooters? This is kind of a short episode, but I think we're running out of steam.
Well, I could talk about Quake for a little bit.
Sure, feel free.
Man, Quake changes like a lot over the course of its franchise.
Does it? How many are there?
Well, okay, so there's Quake, Quake 2 and its expansions, Quake 3, Quake 4, Quake Live, and then there's going to be Quake Champions.
Okay.
But like, Quake 1 is like part science fiction, part like fantasy. Like, you know, you switch between like fighting like super soldiers and fighting like ogres.
All right.
You'll get like some like sci-fi lightning gun and then fight like a spooky like flying specter. And then like Quake 2 is just like straight up sci-fi, and like the rest of them like completely drop any of like the magical elements from the rest of the franchise like at all. Which it makes sense because Quake 1 was only like that on accident.
What do you mean?
They'd been developing Quake 1 for a while, and they like had, I can't remember if they were going for sci-fi or for fantasy first, but they changed direction like halfway through, and they didn't have enough time to like remake every single asset in the game. So it's just sort of like this weird hodgepodge of like science fiction and fantasy, which I really like, but it's really inconsistent. It just feels kind of strange.
Yeah.
There's like 4 chapters, and there's like 2 boss fights, and like one of them's not even a boss fight.
How? What is it, like a puzzle fight?
No, it's just like you walk up to the thing and it dies.
Oh, okay.
It's not great. The rest of the game's fantastic, but the boss fights are not. And then eventually it just becomes like an arena shooter.
Yeah, because Quake Live is just multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah, Quake Live's just multiplayer. So Quake 1's like mostly like a single player like campaign game. Quake 2's like the sci-fi one. Quake 3 is just an arena shooter, and then Quake 4 is another sci-fi one.
Okay. I mean, I really like that because it feels like shooters are the genre that just like doesn't care about consistency with tone like that. Like Wolfenstein by its very core is inconsistent. Like,
what do you mean?
Well, because you're mixing like hyper future technology and like occult magic and Nazis.
Oh yeah.
The 3 pillars of mystical.
That works really well in some of them. Because the ones... Return to Castle Wolfenstein is my favorite Wolfenstein game. Except for maybe The New Order. and there's like a lot of like high technology, but they're also like using like necromancy. So they'll have like there's like a zombie that's like had its like legs cut off, but it's like also been like pumped full of super soldier serum. And then like the bottom half of it just shoots lightning everywhere, and it's just like flails around on its arms running at you as like it shoots lightning everywhere. It's great. It's really cool. So that part of it like is really interesting, just combining all those different elements. As I said, I really like Wolfenstein.
Huh. Okay. Have we missed any like really important games or not touched on any enough? Or
I mean, there's a lot of other like classic first person shooters, but I think we've covered all the like the really popular ones at least. Because we covered everything. We covered like pretty much all of id's games.
Mm-hmm. What about Daikatana?
No.
Will you buy me Daikatana?
No. I'm not buying Daikatana. I'm not giving any money to John Romero.
Daikatana is on Steam, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Steam. It's like $5.
Thank God. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's good. So thanks for listening, everybody. Unless anybody else has any closing thoughts.
No.
So,
yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about classic shooters. Is no.
Oh, they're so good though.
Nah, it's not for me. When do you level up?
Yeah, all those RPG elements.
When in Doom do you get Erdrick's armor? Okay, so we should be back Thursday again.
Mm-hmm.
What episode do we do? I think that's our.
I just dropped my phone on the floor.
I think you dropped your phone on the last 3 episodes, Dan.
Yeah, well, it's a running theme.
It's consistency, Casey.
Yeah.
I think we're finally doing the episode that we've been putting off, where we're going to do the Earthbound, Lisa, and Undertale kind of
that'd be really fun.
collaborative idea episode.
Yeah.
Now that I've said it, we have to do that, so I actually have to finish Earthbound this week. I've been trying to play Earthbound for like 3 months. I just haven't gotten very far in it. So I think we're going to try to do that. We will have something uploaded to the website Tuesday. I think that's all we've got to say.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks
Okay.
for listening, everybody.
Yep. Thanks for listening, and have a nice night.
See you next week.